The Glock trembled in Elena Morris's small hands, aimed straight at the heart of the most dangerous man in the city. And she was 10 years old. Rafael Romano stood frozen at the altar, his wedding suit custom-tailored, his empire minutes away from doubling in power through marriage. 200 witnesses held their breath. Armed guards flanked every exit. The bride's father, Don Salvatore Corleone, gripped the armrest of his wheelchair, knuckles white with rage. But Rafael didn't see any of them. He only saw the girl, the trembling child with her mother's eyes. "Where is she?" Elena's voice cracked, but the gun didn't waver. "Where is my sister, Mia?" "Hello, everyone watching. I'm so glad you're here for this incredible story of courage, redemption, and the unbreakable bonds of family. Where are you watching from today? Drop your location in the comments. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This tale is going to take you on a journey you won't forget. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next. The cathedral had glowed like heaven just moments before. Golden light streaming through stained glass, violins weeping beauty into the air, white roses cascading down marble columns. The Romano-Corleone wedding was supposed to unite two criminal dynasties, end decades of bloodshed, and crown Rafael as the undisputed king of the underworld. Then the cathedral doors exploded open, and a child in a wrinkled blue dress marched down the aisle like an angel of vengeance, her sneakers squeaking against polished stone, her weapon an obscene darkness against the white silk runner. "Everyone out," Rafael said quietly. His voice cut through the gasps and whispers like a blade. "Now." "Are you insane?" The bride, Sofia Corleone, stepped forward, diamonds glittering at her throat. "Rafael, she's a child with a gun." I said, "Everyone, out." The words carried the weight of a man who'd built his empire on knowing exactly when to speak and when to kill. Guards hesitated. Don Corleone made a sharp gesture. Within seconds, the cathedral began to empty. Confused guests, furious family members, even the priest fled. Sofia grabbed Rafael's arm. "You don't walk away from this wedding. From me. From my family." Rafael finally looked at her. Whatever she saw in his eyes made her release him and step back. "Go, Sofia." She went. The doors closed with an echoing boom, leaving only Rafael and Elena in that vast golden space. The girl's arms were shaking so badly now the gun jerked with each breath, but her finger remained on the trigger. Tears streaked her dirty face. "Lower the weapon, Elena." Her eyes widened. "How do you know my name?" "Your mother told me." Rafael took one careful step forward. "A long time ago, before you were born." "You're lying." But doubt flickered across her young face. Lucia Morris. She had a scar on her left shoulder from a car accident when she was 16. She hated coffee but loved tea with honey. She hummed when she was nervous. And when she smiled, really smiled, it was like the sun breaking through storm clouds. Elena's chin quivered. The gun dipped. "Mama's dead." Those two words carried more weight than a confession. Rafael felt something inside him crack, a fault line in the armor he'd spent 20 years building. "When?" 3 days ago, heart attack." Elena's voice broke. "And yesterday men came. They took Mia, my sister. She's only 6 years old, and they dragged her out of our apartment screaming for me, and I couldn't. Her knees buckled. Rafael moved faster than should be possible for a man his size, catching her before she fell, catching the gun before it clattered to the floor. Elena fought him for half a heartbeat before collapsing against his chest, her small frame shaking with sobs that tore through the silence. "Mama said..." Elena gasped between tears. "She said if anything ever happened, if anyone ever came for us, I should find Rafael Romano. She said you owed her. She said you were dangerous and terrible and I should be scared of you. But she said you always kept your debts." Rafael held the sobbing child. This fragment of a past he'd locked away. and felt the ground shift beneath his carefully constructed world. Lucia was dead. And her daughters, plural, he hadn't even known there were two, were being hunted. "Who took Mia?" Rafael asked quietly. Elena pulled back just enough to look up at him. Hope and terror warred in her young eyes. "I don't know, but they left this." She pulled a crumpled photograph from her dress pocket. Rafael's blood turned to ice. The photo showed Mia, a tiny girl with dark curls and Lucia's smile, bound to a chair in what looked like a basement. But it wasn't the child that made Rafael's hand shake. It was the symbol spray-painted on the wall behind her, a red serpent eating its own tail. The Ouroboros. His past hadn't just come back to haunt him. It had taken an innocent child. And suddenly, Rafael understood this wasn't random. This was revenge. This was someone who knew exactly how to destroy him, by destroying the only piece of Lucia Morris he had left to protect. "You'll help me," Elena whispered. "You'll find Mia?" Rafael looked down at the girl, at Lucia's daughter, brave and broken and trusting him with everything she had left in the world. He'd spent 20 years becoming a monster to survive. He'd killed, betrayed, and buried his conscience so deep he thought it was gone forever. But Lucia had seen something in him once, something worth saving. Maybe it was still there. "I'll bring your sister home," Rafael said. Each word was a vow. "I swear on your mother's memory, I will find Mia, and whoever took her will wish they'd never been born." Elena nodded once, then collapsed in his arms, exhaustion finally claiming her. Rafael lifted the child effortlessly and turned toward the cathedral's side exit. His wedding was ruined. His alliance with the Corleone family was shattered. War was coming. But none of that mattered anymore, because somewhere in this city, a 6-year-old girl was terrified and alone, taken by people who used the Ouroboros symbol. People Rafael thought he'd eliminated a decade ago. He'd been wrong, and now Lucia's daughter would pay the price unless he became the monster everyone feared again. Only this time, he wouldn't be destroying innocence. He'd be saving it. The tension is just beginning. If you're hooked, drop a comment telling me what you think Rafael should do next, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Rafael carried Elena through the tunnels beneath the cathedral, passages built during Prohibition that his grandfather had used to smuggle whiskey and secrets. The girl slept fitfully against his shoulder, small fingers clutching his jacket like a lifeline. He'd destroyed everything for her in less than 10 minutes. His phone erupted with calls, 53 messages, the Corleone family demanding explanations, his own lieutenants confused and panicking Sophia's venomous texts promising retribution. Rafael silenced it all. Some debts mattered more than empires. The safe house sat in Brooklyn's industrial district, camouflaged as a failing auto repair shop. Rafael shouldered through the steel door, and 3 people looked up from the war room table, their faces shifting from alarm to confusion. "Boss?" Dominic Bourne, Rafael's oldest friend and head of security, stood immediately. He was built like a tank, scarred from a dozen wars, loyal to the bone. "What the hell happened? The wedding is over." Rafael laid Elena gently on the leather couch, tucking his jacket around her small frame. "We have a new priority." The second figure approached, Natasha Gruber, his intelligence specialist and the most dangerous woman Rafael had ever met. She was elegant, precise, and could extract information from stone. Her sharp eyes assessed Elena, then Rafael, missing nothing. "That child just ruined a $100 million alliance," Natasha said evenly. "This better be good." "It's not good. It's necessary." Rafael turned to face his inner circle. "Her name is Elena Morris. Her sister Mia was kidnapped yesterday by people using the Ouroboros symbol." Silence crashed through the room. Dominic's jaw tightened. "That's impossible. We wiped them out, every last one." "Apparently we missed someone." Rafael pulled up the photo Elena had given him, projecting it onto the screen. And they're coming for me through Lucia's daughters. The third person, James Lebowski, Rafael's financial genius and conscience when Rafael had none, looked up sharply. Lucia? You're Lucia? From before? She was never mine, Rafael said quietly. That was the problem. 12 years ago, Rafael had been bleeding out in an alley, betrayed by the Ouroboros crime syndicate he'd been trying to infiltrate. They'd discovered his real identity, tortured him for information, and left him for dead. Lucia Morris found him outside the diner where she worked the night shift. She should have called the police, should have walked away from the obviously dangerous man leaking blood across the pavement. Instead, she dragged him inside, locked the door, and spent 6 hours saving his life with nothing but a first aid kit and stubborn compassion. "You're not dying on my watch," she'd told him, hand steady despite the fear in her eyes. "I don't care what you've done. Right now, you're just a person who needs help." Rafael had fallen in love with her in that moment. Completely. Irrevocably. For 3 months, he'd hidden his true identity, pretended to be a security consultant recovering from a mugging. Lucia had welcomed him into her simple life. Late-night conversations over tea, walks through the park, quiet moments where Rafael forgot about the blood on his hands. She'd made him want to be better, to deserve her. Then she'd gotten pregnant, and Rafael's past had come roaring back. The Ouroboros had tracked him down. They'd sent a message written in the blood of Lucia's co-worker. "We know about the girl. Walk away, or we kill everyone you've ever spoken to." So Rafael had done the hardest thing he'd ever done. He'd broken Lucia's heart, told her he was exactly what she feared, a monster wearing a man's face. He'd given her enough money to disappear and made her promise never to contact him again. "I protected her the only way I knew how," Rafael said now, his voice rough. "By staying away. She left the city, changed her name, raised Elena and Mia somewhere safe." His fists clenched. "I spent the next year hunting every member of the Ouroboros. I didn't just kill them. I erased them, their families, their allies, their legacy. Or so I thought." Natasha studied the photo with calculating eyes. "Whoever survived has been planning this for over a decade. Patient, precise, waiting for the perfect moment to strike." She looked at Rafael. "They waited until Lucia died, until you were vulnerable." "They took the wrong child," Dominic growled. "They should have run." "No," James spoke up, his voice quiet but firm. "They took exactly the right child. Mia's young enough to be truly helpless. Elena's old enough to find Rafael. This is theater, psychological warfare." He met Rafael's eyes. "They want you to come for Mia. This is a trap." "I don't care," Rafael's words cut through the room like glass. "I'm walking into it anyway." Elena stirred on the couch, whimpering in her sleep. Rafael moved to her side, instinctively protective. The girl reminded him so much of Lucia, the same stubborn set to her jaw, the same fire in her eyes even when she was terrified. Lucia had trusted him with her daughters' lives, her final contingency plan, her last act of faith in the man she'd once believed could be good. He wouldn't fail her again. "Boss," Dominic said carefully, "the Corleone family won't let this go. You walked away from Sofia at the altar. Don Salvatore will demand blood." "Let him demand." Rafael's voice turned cold. "If he wants war, he can have it. But first, we find Mia." Natasha pulled up a digital map, marking locations. The Ouroboros operated primarily out of the waterfront district. Abandoned warehouses, underground chambers. If they're using the old symbol, they might be using old territory. "I'll reach out to our contacts," James added. "Someone knows something. Someone always knows." Rafael nodded, but his attention stayed on Elena. She'd marched into a cathedral full of armed criminals, pointed a gun at the city's most feared man, and demanded justice for her sister. 10 years old, and braver than most soldiers Rafael commanded. If you're watching and you have a younger sibling, drop a comment about what you'd do to protect them. Family bonds are powerful, and this story is about to show you just how far love can push someone. Stay subscribed, because part 3 is where everything explodes. Elena's eyes fluttered open. She looked up at Rafael with a mixture of hope and terror. "Did you mean it? Will you really save Mia?" Rafael knelt beside the couch, meeting her gaze directly. "I promise you, Elena, on my life, I will bring your sister home." The girl studied his face for a long moment, then nodded once. "Mama said you were scary, but she also said you were the only person who ever made her feel truly safe, even when you left." Those words hit Rafael harder than any bullet ever had. He'd spent 12 years believing he'd destroyed Lucia's life by leaving. Maybe he'd actually saved it. But now her daughters needed saving. And Rafael Romano was about to remind the world why people whispered his name in the dark. The first lead came at 3 a.m. Rafael stood in the war room, studying surveillance footage from every camera within 6 blocks of Lucia's apartment. Elena slept fitfully in the adjacent room, nightmares making her cry out every hour. Each sound was a knife in Rafael's chest. "Boss," Natasha's voice cut through the silence. "We have a visitor. She's armed, well-trained, and demanding to see you. Says it's about the Morris kidnapping." Rafael's hand moved to his weapon. "No one knows about that yet." "She does, and she brought this." Natasha slid a folder across the table. Inside was another photo of Mia, this one taken just hours ago. The little girl looked terrified but unharmed. Scrawled on the back, "TikTok, Romano 48 hours. Send her in." The woman who entered moved like a predator, controlled, dangerous, assessing every exit before her eyes landed on Rafael. She was striking in an unconventional way. Dark hair pulled back severely, sharp features, a scar cutting through her left eyebrow. She wore tactical gear and carried herself with military precision. But it was her eyes that stopped Rafael cold. Dark green, intelligent, familiar. "I'm Dr. Sarah Connor," she said, her voice steady, despite walking into a room full of armed criminals. "Child psychologist and trauma specialist, I've been tracking the Ouroboros for 8 years." She dropped a badge on the table, FBI consultant. "And I knew Lucia Morris?" The room went silent. Rafael studied her carefully. "Lucia never mentioned you." "She wouldn't have. We met in witness protection." Sarah's jaw tightened. "After you destroyed the Ouroboros, I helped Lucia rebuild her life, gave her tools to process the trauma of loving someone like you, helped her create a safe environment for her daughters." Her eyes blazed. "She was my friend, and now someone's taken Mia because of your past." "Watch your tone," Dominic warned, moving forward. Sarah didn't flinch. "Or what? You'll shoot the only person who knows where the Ouroboros is hiding?" She pulled out a tablet, swiping through images. "I've been investigating their resurgence for 2 years. They didn't die, Rafael. They evolved, and they've been watching you, waiting for the perfect moment to strike." Rafael's blood ran cold. "What do you know?" "I know they have Mia in a facility outside the city. I know they're demanding something from you. Though what, I haven't figured out yet. And I know—" She hesitated, something like pain crossing her face. "I know Lucia made me promise that if anything ever happened to her, I'd make sure you protected her daughters. She never stopped believing in the man you could be." The words hit Rafael like a physical blow. James spoke up quietly. "Why come to us? Why not use FBI resources?" "Because this is personal. Because the Ouroboros has people inside federal agencies. And because—" Sarah's voice hardened. "Because 8 years ago, they killed my younger sister for helping Lucia escape. I've been hunting them ever since. This isn't just about Mia anymore. It's about ending them permanently." Rafael saw it then, the rage buried beneath her professional exterior. The same rage that had driven him for years. Sarah Connor wasn't just here to help. She was here for revenge. And despite everything, Rafael felt something shift. Recognition. Respect. a dangerous spark of connection with someone who understood the weight of protecting the innocent while carrying blood on their hands. "Show me what you have," Rafael said. Sarah pulled up surveillance footage. 3 days ago, a black van was spotted near Lucia's apartment. The driver matches the description of Victor Petrov, former Ouroboros enforcer you supposedly killed 10 years ago. Rafael moved closer to the screen. Victor's face sent memories flooding back. The man who'd tortured him, who'd threatened Lucia, who Rafael had personally put a bullet through. "I watched him die." "You watched someone die," Sarah corrected. "Victor had a twin brother, Alexei Petrov, also Ouroboros, also presumed dead." She pulled up another image. "Except he's very much alive. And he's been rebuilding the organization in secret, using your own network against you." Dominic swore. "That's impossible. We have eyes everywhere." "You have eyes where you think you need them." Sarah's gaze cut to Rafael. "But you've been focused on building empires, not watching for ghosts. The Ouroboros learned from your attack. They went underground, got legitimate, and they've spent years positioning themselves to destroy everything you built." Rafael's mind raced. The wedding, the alliance with the Corleone family, his entire power structure. "The Corleone wedding," Rafael said slowly. "That was the target. They took Mia to force me to walk away from Sofia, to sabotage the alliance." "More than that." Sarah pulled up financial records. "The Corleones were supposed to help you take control of the city's shipping ports. Those ports are the key to the Ouroboros' new operation. Human trafficking, weapons smuggling, everything. You getting married meant cutting off their supply lines." James's eyes widened. So they eliminated the threat by taking Lucia's daughter, making sure Rafael would choose the child over the alliance. "And now the Corleones think you betrayed them," Natasha added. "Which means—" "Civil war," Rafael finished. "The underworld tears itself apart while the Ouroboros moves freely." Sarah nodded. "Brilliant, really. They hurt you, destabilize your power, and position themselves to fill the vacuum, all with one kidnapping." Rafael's hands clenched into fists. Alexei had played him perfectly, used the one weakness Rafael thought he'd eliminated years ago: his humanity, his connection to Lucia. "Where's Mia?" Rafael demanded. "That's where it gets complicated." Sarah pulled up satellite imagery. "There's an abandoned psychiatric hospital 90 miles north. The Ouroboros owns it through shell companies, heavy security, minimal oversight. It's perfect for keeping a child hidden." "Then we move now." "Wait." Sarah stepped closer, close enough that Rafael could see the gold flecks in her green eyes. "This is a trap. They want you to come charging in. Alexei knows how you operate. He's counting on your rage making you sloppy. I don't care if it's a trap. That little girl is terrified and alone because of me. Which is exactly why you need to be smart." Sarah's voice softened. "Lucia told me about you, Rafael. She said you were brilliant when you stopped trying to be a monster and started thinking like a protector. So protect Mia. Don't get yourself killed in the process." Their eyes locked. Something electric passed between them. Understanding, shared purpose, and beneath it all, an attraction neither expected nor wanted. Sarah had spent 8 years hating everything Rafael represented. Rafael had spent 12 years believing he was too damaged for redemption. But here they stood, united by a dead woman's faith and a little girl's life. What do you think? Can Rafael trust Sarah? Drop your theories in the comments. And if you're loving this story's twists, make sure you're subscribed because we're just getting started. The next part is going to blow your mind. "We do this together," Rafael said finally. "Your intel, my resources. We plan carefully, move fast, and we bring Mia home." Sarah extended her hand. "Partners. But Rafael, when this is over, we're having a conversation about your life choices." Despite everything, Rafael almost smiled. "Lucia would have liked you." "She did." Sarah's expression turned somber. "She also made me promise to tell you something if this day ever came. She said, Tell Rafael he was never the monster he thought he was. He was just a good man who forgot how to see himself clearly. The words wrapped around Rafael's heart, like both comfort and condemnation. Behind them, a door creaked open. Elena stood in the doorway, eyes red from crying. "You found her? You found Mia?" Rafael knelt to her level. "We know where she is, and we're bringing her home." Elena looked at Sarah, then back at Rafael. "Promise?" "I promise." As Rafael stood, his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number, a video file. He opened it. His blood turned to ice. Mia sat bound to a chair, tears streaming down her face. Behind her, a figure in a black mask spoke directly to the camera in Russian-accented English. "Hello, Rafael, remember me? You took everything from me. Now I return the favor. You have 48 hours to give me what I want, or Lucia's daughter dies screaming, 'Choose wisely!'" The video cut to black. Elena gasped. Sarah swore. Dominic reached for his weapon, but Rafael just stared at the screen, something cold and ancient unfurling inside him. Alexei wanted a monster? He was about to remember why people used to whisper Rafael Romano's name like a prayer against the dark. The hunt had begun. The plan came together in 6 brutal hours. Rafael's team moved like a well-oiled machine, Dominic coordinating tactical units, James rerouting funds through untraceable accounts, Natasha pulling surveillance from every traffic camera along the route to the psychiatric hospital. But it was Sarah who kept finding problems with every approach. "That entry point leaves us exposed for 40 seconds, she argued, marking up the blueprint. "Alexei will have snipers positioned exactly there." Rafael leaned over the table, frustration mounting. "Then we create a diversion." "Which he'll expect. He knows how you think." "Then what do you suggest?" Rafael's voice carried an edge. They'd been at this for hours, and every minute that passed was another minute Mia spent terrified. Sarah met his glare without flinching. "I suggest we stop acting like this is a military operation and start thinking like psychologists. Alexei doesn't just want to kill you, Rafael. He wants to break you, so we use that." Elena watched from the corner, quiet and pale. She'd refused to leave Rafael's side since seeing the video of her sister. Now she spoke up, her young voice cutting through the tension. "What does that mean? Using it?" Sarah turned to her, expression softening. "It means we figure out what the bad man really wants, not just what he says he wants." "He wants Rafael to suffer," Elena said simply, "like he's been suffering." Out of the mouths of children. Rafael exchanged a glance with Sarah, seeing his own realization reflected in her eyes. "She's right," Sarah said slowly. "This isn't about money or power. It's personal. Alexei lost his twin brother, his organization, everything. He wants Rafael to feel that same loss." "So he takes Mia," James added, understanding dawning. "But he doesn't really want to kill her. Not yet. He wants Rafael to make impossible choices," Rafael finished. His jaw tightened. "The video said I have to give him what he wants, but he never specified what that is." Natasha pulled up the video again, analyzing every frame. "There, in the background. That's not just any psychiatric hospital room. Those are holding cells reinforced, designed for violent patients." Dominic leaned in. "He's not keeping Mia there to hide her. He's keeping her there because he plans to bring more people. This is a collection point." The implications hit Rafael like a freight train. "He's going to take Elena too, and probably—" His eyes found Sarah's. She'd gone pale. He knows I've been investigating him. If he's been watching Rafael, he knows I came here tonight." Her hands clenched. "I led him right to both of Lucia's daughters." "No," Rafael's voice was firm. "This isn't on you. Alexei would have found them regardless. But now we know his real plan. He wants to destroy everyone connected to Lucia, everyone I failed to protect the first time." Sarah stood abruptly, pacing. "Then we need to split up. Send Elena somewhere safe while we—" "No!" Elena jumped to her feet. "I'm not hiding while Mia's scared. I'm not leaving her alone." "Elena," Rafael started. You don't understand." Tears streamed down the girl's face. "After Mama died, I promised Mia I'd always protect her, that I'd never let anything bad happen, and then those men came, and I hid in the closet like a coward while they took her. I heard her screaming for me, and I did nothing." The room went silent. Rafael crossed to Elena, kneeling to meet her eyes. "You survived. That's not cowardice. That's what your mother would have wanted. You stayed alive so you could find help, so you could find me." "But Mia thinks I abandoned her." Elena's voice broke. "She thinks I didn't care enough to save her." Sarah joined them, her professional mask cracking. "I know exactly how you feel. When my sister died, I blamed myself for years. Thought I should have been smarter, faster, better." She took Elena's hands. "But grief and guilt won't save Mia. Action will. And the best action you can take right now is to trust the adults who know how to fight these monsters." Elena looked between Sarah and Rafael. "You promise you'll tell her I tried? That I didn't abandon her?" "I promise," Rafael said. "And I'll do more than that. I'll let you be there when we bring her home, but first you need to stay safe." A commotion at the door interrupted them. Dominic appeared, his expression grim. "Boss, we have a problem. Sofia Corleone is here, with 20 armed men." Rafael stood, instinctively moving between Elena and the door. "Tell her. She's not asking." Dominic's hand rested on his weapon. "She says you have 60 seconds to explain why you destroyed her wedding, or she starts shooting." Sarah muttered something in what sounded like Russian. "Perfect timing." Rafael's mind raced. The Corleone family was connected throughout the city. Resources, intel, firepower. If he could convince Sofia to help instead of starting a war. "Stay here with Elena," he told Sarah. "Don't let her out of your sight." "Rafael?" Sarah grabbed his arm. The contact sent electricity through both of them, unexpected and undeniable. "Be careful. You're no good to Mia dead." Their eyes held for a moment too long. Something unspoken passed between them. Concern that went beyond professional, attraction complicated by timing and circumstance, the beginning of trust between two damaged people. "I'm always careful," Rafael said, though they both knew it was a lie. He walked out to face his furious ex-fiancée. Sofia Corleone stood in the center of the warehouse, designer heels clicking against concrete, 20 guns trained on Rafael's position. She was beautiful in the way dangerous things often are. Sharp edges and cold perfection. "You humiliated me," Sofia said, voice like ice, "in front of everyone. My family wants your head on a platter." "I understand, but I need 48 hours. "You need?" Sofia laughed, brittle and harsh. "You arrogant bastard. You think you can walk away from our family and just ask for favors?" "Not a favor, a truce." Rafael moved closer, ignoring the weapons tracking him. "A child's life is at stake, Lucia Morris's daughter. The Ouroboros took her to force me away from you, to sabotage our alliance." Something flickered in Sofia's eyes. "The Ouroboros is dead." "No, they're not, and they're using Lucia's children to destroy me." Rafael pulled out his phone, showing her the video of Mia. "This little girl is 6 years old. She's terrified, and she's running out of time." Sofia studied the screen, her expression unreadable. Then she looked at Rafael, really looked at him, and he knew she saw something she hadn't before: vulnerability, desperation, humanity. "Lucia Morris," Sofia said quietly. "The woman you loved before you became this. The woman who saved my life when I didn't deserve saving." What would you do in Sofia's position? Help your ex-fiancé save a child, or get revenge? Drop your thoughts below, and make sure you're subscribed, because Part 5 is bringing revelations that will change everything. Sofia was silent for a long moment. Then she lowered her weapon. "My father will want blood for this disrespect." "I know. But my father isn't here right now. I am." She gestured to her men. "Stand down. We're helping Romano." Relief flooded through Rafael. "Sofia!" Don't thank me. Don't apologize. Just save that little girl." Sophia's eyes hardened. "And when this is over, you and I are settling our debt, understood?" "Understood." As Sophia's team began coordinating with Dominic, Sarah emerged from the back room. Her eyes found Rafael's across the warehouse, questions and something warmer in her gaze. They had resources now. They had a plan. They had hope. But Rafael couldn't shake the feeling that Alexei was 3 steps ahead, waiting for them to walk into his trap. Time was running out. The breakthrough came at dawn. Natasha burst into the command center, laptop in hand, her normally composed face showing cracks of shock. "You need to see this, now." Rafael looked up from the tactical maps spread across the table. Sarah stood beside him, close enough that their arms occasionally brushed, a proximity that had become comfortable over the long night of planning. Sophia leaned against the wall, watching them with calculating eyes. "What is it?" Rafael asked. "I hacked the Ouroboros financial network, traced their money back through shell companies, offshore accounts, the works." Natasha's hands trembled slightly as she pulled up files. "Boss, the funding for their entire operation. It's not coming from criminal enterprises." "Then where?" Sarah moved closer to the screen. Natasha looked directly at Rafael. "It's coming from Elena Morris's estate, specifically from a trust fund set up 12 years ago, in your name." The words hit like a physical blow. "That's impossible," Rafael said. "I gave Lucia money to disappear, but I never—" "You did." James appeared from the back office, carrying a thick legal file. His face was ashen. "I've been going through our old financial records 12 years ago. You set up an irrevocable trust for Lucia. $10 million. You told me it was life insurance. If anything happened to you, she'd be taken care of." Rafael remembered. The week before he'd left Lucia, drowning in guilt, he'd made arrangements, money, protection, a future for her and their unborn child. "But Lucia never touched it," James continued. "The account sat dormant until 3 years ago. Then someone with legal authority started making withdrawals, large ones." He handed Rafael a document. "Someone with power of attorney over Lucia's affairs." Sarah took the paper from Rafael's shaking hands. Her face went white. "No," she whispered. "No, this can't be right." "What?" Rafael demanded. Sarah looked up, devastation in her eyes. "The power of attorney. It's signed by Dr. Michael Connor, my brother." The room went silent. "Your brother is dead," Sophia said carefully. "You told us the Ouroboros killed him 8 years ago." "They did. I identified his body myself. I watched them lower his coffin into the ground." Sarah's voice was barely audible. "But this signature, it's dated 6 months ago." Natasha pulled up more files. "There's more. Michael Connor isn't just moving money. He's been communicating with Alexei Petrov for years, planning this. He's not a victim of the Ouroboros." She paused. "He is the Ouroboros. He's been running it the entire time." Sarah staggered backward. Rafael caught her instinctively, his arms wrapping around her as she struggled to breathe. "My brother," she gasped. "My brother betrayed me, betrayed Lucia. He's been alive this whole time, and he let me think—" She broke off, pressing her hand to her mouth. Rafael held her tighter, feeling her tremble. "Sarah!" "I mourned him." Tears streamed down her face. "I spent 8 years hunting the people who killed him, and he was orchestrating everything, using me, using my investigation to stay ahead of every law enforcement agency." She looked up at Rafael with broken eyes. "He knew I'd come to you. That's why he took Mia. He's been planning this reunion." Dominic swore viciously. "It's not just a trap. It's a family reunion. He wants both of you there." Elena appeared in the doorway, having heard everything. "Why? Why would Sarah's brother hurt us?" Sarah pulled away from Rafael, wiping her tears, forcing herself back into control. "Because Michael was obsessed with Lucia. He met her before I did. He was her therapist after Rafael left. He fell in love with her." Her voice hardened. When Lucia rejected him, chose to raise her daughters alone rather than let him into her life, something in him broke. Natasha pulled up psychological records. Dr. Michael Connor was investigated for inappropriate relationships with patients. Multiple complaints. He lost his license 7 years ago. Disappeared shortly after. He didn't disappear. Sarah's hands clenched into fists. He joined the Ouroboros. Probably saw it as a way to punish everyone who'd rejected him. Lucia, me, the medical establishment, and when Rafael destroyed the organization. She looked at Rafael. Michael rebuilt it, not for power, for revenge against the woman who wouldn't love him and the man she'd chosen instead. Rafael's mind raced, pieces clicking into place. Lucia's heart attack. 3 days ago. Was it natural? Sarah's eyes widened with horror. Oh, God. Michael had access to her medical records. He was trained as a psychiatrist but knew pharmacology, if he wanted to induce cardiac arrest in a way that looked natural. He killed her, Elena whispered, tears streaming down her face. He killed our mama. The room erupted. Dominic shouted orders. Sophia made phone calls. But Rafael only saw Sarah. Brilliant, broken Sarah who'd been manipulated by her own brother for nearly a decade. He crossed to her, taking her face in his hands. Look at me. She met his eyes, vulnerability and fury warring in her expression. This is not your fault, Rafael said firmly. Michael made his choices. We're going to stop him. Together. He has Mia. He's probably been watching this entire planning session. He knows we're coming. Sarah's voice cracked. And he's going to use her to destroy both of us. Then we give him what he wants. Rafael's tone turned cold. We walk into his trap, but we do it on our terms. Sophia stepped forward. That's suicide. No. Rafael released Sarah, turning to face his assembled team. It's justice. Michael wants a reunion? He wants to break us? Fine. But he's forgotten something crucial. What's that? James asked. Rafael's eyes blazed with determination. Lucia believed in redemption. She saw good in me when I was at my worst. She saved Sarah from her grief. She raised 2 incredible daughters while carrying trauma no one should bear. His voice grew stronger. Michael thinks he's honoring her memory by destroying us. But the greatest honor we can give Lucia is proving she was right. That broken people can choose to protect instead of destroy. Sarah straightened, wiping away tears. You're right. We're not going in there as victims. We're going as protectors. She looked at Elena. For Mia. For Lucia. For family, Elena added quietly. The stakes just got real. Who saw this twist coming? Drop your reactions in the comments. If you're as shocked as I am by this revelation, make sure you hit subscribe because Part 6 is going to push our heroes to their absolute limits. Rafael pulled up the hospital schematics one more time, but now he saw it differently. Not as a tactical problem, but as Michael's psychological game board. Every entrance, every corridor, was designed to maximize emotional damage. He'll have Mia in the central observation room, Sarah said, reading Rafael's thoughts. Where he used to conduct therapy sessions. He wants us to watch her suffer. Then we rewrite his script. Rafael looked at Sophia. How many men can you commit? 20 of my best, but Rafael... Sophia's expression softened almost imperceptibly. This isn't just about tactics anymore, is it? This is about proving you're more than the monster you've been. It always was. Rafael glanced at Sarah. I just forgot for a while. Sarah moved closer, close enough that Rafael could see gold flecks in her eyes, could feel the warmth radiating from her despite the cold room. When this is over... I know, Rafael interrupted gently. We'll deal with your brother, with everything. But first, we save Mia. Sarah's hand found his, squeezing once. A promise. A connection forged in shared pain and purpose. The attraction between them was undeniable now. 2 damaged souls finding unexpected light in each other's darkness. but neither had time to explore it. Not yet. Not until Lucia's daughter was safe. Rafael's phone buzzed, a video message from an unknown number. His blood ran cold as he opened it. Michael Connor's face filled the screen. Handsome, charismatic, with Sarah's eyes but none of her warmth. Behind him, Mia sat bound to a chair, silent tears streaming down her face. "Hello, Rafael. Hello, sister." Michael's smile was poisonous. "I assume you've figured it out by now. Clever of you. But you're still thinking too small. This isn't just about revenge." He leaned forward. "It's about love. Twisted, broken, beautiful love. Lucia loved you, Rafael. She loved my sister. But she couldn't love me. So now you all get to understand what that rejection feels like." The video shifted. Another child sat bound beside Mia, a boy, maybe 8 years old. "You have 12 hours, Michael said. "Come alone, both of you, or I start killing children, one every hour. Let's see if Lucia was right about you, Rafael. Let's see if you're really capable of redemption." The screen went black. Elena screamed, and Rafael knew the real war had just begun. The plan fell apart before they even left the warehouse. Rafael was loading weapons into the SUV when Dominic pulled him aside, face grave. "Boss, we have a problem. 3 of our safe houses were hit simultaneously 10 minutes ago, professional hits. Everyone inside is dead." Rafael's blood turned to ice. "Michael's cleaning house. He knows our entire network." "Worse." Dominic showed him surveillance footage. "Look at the timestamp. These attacks happened while we were planning. He's been watching us in real time." Sarah appeared beside them, her face pale. "He bugged me. When I came here, he was already tracking me." She pulled a tiny device from her jacket lining, so small it was nearly invisible. "My brother knew exactly where I'd go. He wanted me to lead him to you, to Elena, to everything." The implications crashed down like a building collapse. "He knows our entry points," Natasha said, "running calculations, our backup plans, every contingency we discussed." "He's not just ahead of us," James added grimly. "He's orchestrating our every move." Sophia's phone rang. She answered, listened, then her face went white. "My father just declared war on you, Rafael. He says you've been compromised, that helping you would destroy the Corleone family. My men have been ordered to withdraw immediately." "Sophia!" "I'm sorry." And for the first time, Sophia looked genuinely regretful. "My loyalty to family comes first, always." She gathered her team and left without another word. In 60 seconds, Rafael had lost half his resources and all his tactical advantage. Elena sat in the corner, clutching the photo of her sister. "He's going to kill her, isn't he? Because we can't save her." "No," Rafael said, but his voice lacked conviction. Sarah's phone buzzed. A video message. She opened it, then immediately tried to close it, but Rafael had already seen. Michael stood in what looked like a hospital operating room. Mia was strapped to a gurney, unconscious but breathing. Beside her, medical equipment beeped ominously. "Tick-tock, sister." Michael's voice was cheerful, obscene in its lightness. "I've injected little Mia with a very special drug cocktail. In 8 hours, her heart will stop. The only antidote is here, with me. So you have a choice. Come save her and walk into my trap knowing you'll probably die, or stay safe and let an innocent child pay for your cowardice." The video ended. Sarah staggered, catching herself on the table. Rafael reached for her, but she jerked away. "Don't." Her voice was raw. "Don't comfort me. Don't tell me it'll be okay. My brother is going to murder a 6-year-old because I wasn't smart enough to see what he'd become." "Sarah, I studied psychology for years. I'm supposed to understand twisted minds, and I missed the biggest monster in my own family." Tears streamed down her face. "Lucia trusted me with her daughters. She made me promise I'd protect them if anything happened, and I led a killer straight to them." "You didn't know." "I should have." Sarah's composure shattered completely. "The signs were there. Michael's obsession with Lucia, his anger when she rejected him, the way he talked about saving people from their bad choices. I saw it all, and I explained it away because he was my brother, and I couldn't believe— Her voice broke. She turned away, shoulders shaking. Rafael wanted to hold her, to promise everything would be fine. But he'd learned long ago that some pain couldn't be fixed with words. Elena walked over to Sarah, taking her hand. My mama used to say that loving someone means trusting them even when they don't deserve it. She said that's what made people good, choosing to believe, even after they've been hurt. Sarah looked down at the little girl, then collapsed to her knees, pulling Elena into a fierce embrace. Your mother was an incredible woman. I know. Elena's voice was small. That's why we can't let the bad man win. Mama would want us to try, even if it's scary. Dominic cleared his throat. Boss, we got another problem. Our armory was raided. Most of our weapons are gone, and our secure communication network just went dark. Michael's cutting us off piece by piece. Rafael felt the walls closing in, every resource stripped away, every advantage eliminated. Michael had spent years preparing for this moment, and it showed. James pulled Rafael aside. There's something else. I traced the trust fund deeper. The money Michael stole from Lucia's account, he didn't just use it to fund the Ouroboros, he donated millions to children's hospitals, trauma centers, therapy programs, all in Lucia's name. What? Rafael couldn't process it. He's building a legacy for her, a twisted monument to his obsession. James's voice was grim. Michael doesn't see himself as a villain. He thinks he's honoring Lucia by destroying the people who corrupted her. You for leaving, Sarah for supporting her independence, even Mia and Elena for existing as reminders of what he could never have. Rafael looked at Sarah, still holding Elena. Two broken people clinging to each other while everything fell apart. We need you now more than ever. Drop a comment with what you would do in this situation. Would you risk everything for a child you barely know? Your thoughts keep this community strong, so don't forget to subscribe. Part 7 is where hope returns. His phone rang. Private number. Rafael answered. Michael. Rafael Romano, the legendary monster with a conscience. Michael's voice dripped with mockery. How does it feel, knowing you're going to fail again? That you'll watch another person you care about die because you're not strong enough, not smart enough, not good enough? What do you want? I want you to suffer. I want my sister to understand what real loss feels like. I want those little girls to learn that hope is a lie. Michael paused. But most of all, I want to prove that Lucia was wrong about you. You're not redeemable. You're just a killer pretending to be human. You're wrong. Am I? Then prove it. Come to the hospital. Alone. Leave Sarah and Elena behind. They've suffered enough because of your choices. Come alone. Face me like a man, and maybe I'll let Mia live. I don't believe you. You don't have to believe me. You just have to decide if you're willing to bet a child's life on it. Michael's voice turned cold. You have 6 hours. The clock is ticking, Rafael, and so is Mia's heart. The line went dead. Rafael looked around the warehouse, his depleted team, his few remaining resources, the 2 people depending on him to somehow win an unwinnable fight. Sarah stood, meeting his eyes. He's separating us? That's his strategy? Isolate us, make us weak. I know. So we don't let him. Sarah moved closer, and despite everything, despite the fear and desperation, Rafael felt that spark between them again. We go together, we adapt, we find a way. With what army? Dominic gestured at their bare arsenal. We're outgunned, outmanned, and out of time. Rafael was silent for a long moment. Then he looked at Elena, at Sarah, at his remaining team, at the people Lucia had believed could choose light over darkness. Then we stop fighting like an army, Rafael said quietly. We fight like a family. But even as he said it, Rafael felt the crushing weight of impossibility. Michael held every card, had every advantage, knew their every move before they made it. For the first time in 20 years, Rafael Romano had no plan, no backup, no hope. Only a promise to a dead woman and a little girl's life hanging in the balance. The darkness had never felt so absolute. Elena was the one who saw it. Rafael sat staring at the video of Mia, replaying it for the 100th time, searching for something, anything they'd missed. Sarah paced like a caged animal, her brilliant mind racing through scenarios that all ended in failure. Dominic and James worked phones, calling in every last favor, finding nothing. Then Elena spoke, her small voice cutting through the despair. "He's lying." Rafael looked up. "What?" "The bad man, Michael. He's lying about the poison." Elena pointed at the screen where Mia lay unconscious. "Look at her breathing. It's steady normal. When Mama had her heart attack, she couldn't breathe right. The paramedics said her heart rhythm was all wrong." The 10-year-old's eyes were sharp, focused. "But Mia's heart monitor in the video, the beeping is perfect, too perfect." Sarah froze mid-step, then rushed to the screen. Her hands flew across the keyboard, enhancing the image. "Oh my God, Elena's right. That's not a real cardiac monitor reading, it's a loop, a recording." "He's bluffing," Natasha breathed. "There is no poison." "No." Sarah's mind was clearly racing. There might be sedatives to keep her unconscious, but Michael wouldn't actually poison her. Not yet. She looked at Rafael, understanding dawning, because he doesn't want Mia dead. He wants an audience for her death. He wants us there, watching, broken. A corpse has no dramatic value. Rafael felt something shift inside him. The first crack of light through the darkness. He's a narcissist, a performer. Everything is theater. Which means he's been performing for us this entire time. James pulled up the financial records again. The charitable donations in Lucia's name, those weren't about honoring her. They were about creating a public narrative where Michael is the hero. Dominic caught on. The videos, the threats, even taking Mia, it's all a stage production. He needs us to play our parts. So we changed the script. Rafael stood, energy returning to his movements. Michael thinks he knows us, thinks he can predict our every move because he's been watching, but he's only seen what we wanted to find. Our planning sessions, our resources. Sarah's eyes lit up. The bug on me. We knew about it for the last hour. What if we used it to feed him false information? He'd see through that, Natasha countered. He's too smart. Not if we make it emotional enough. Sarah moved to the center of the room, her tactical mind engaging. Michael wants to see me break, wants to see Rafael fail, so we give him that. But we give him something else too, something he can't resist. Rafael understood immediately. Me, alone, broken, exactly what he asked for. No, Dominic started. Yes, Rafael's voice was firm, but not actually alone. Michael expects me to bring backup, to try something clever. So I walk in looking defeated, looking like I'm surrendering, while Sarah takes a team through the route he doesn't know about. Sarah pulled up the hospital schematics. Michael knows the building, but he doesn't know what I know. When I was consulting there years ago, before it closed, there was an underground tunnel system, built during the Cold War. The entrance was sealed, but with the right equipment. We can breach it, Dominic finished, excitement building. While Michael's focused on Rafael's dramatic entrance, we extract Mia from below. It's still risky, James warned. If Michael suspects anything. He won't, Elena stepped forward, surprising them all. Because I'm going with Rafael. Absolutely not, Rafael said immediately. He wants a performance, right? A show? Elena's jaw set with determination that reminded Rafael painfully of Lucia. What's more dramatic than Mia's sister showing up? Michael will focus on me, on making me watch. He won't be looking for Sarah's team. Elena, you're 10 years old. And my sister is 6 and sedated and alone. Elena's voice cracked but held firm. Mama died protecting us. She made plans, gave us you as a backup, taught me to be brave. I'm not hiding anymore." Sarah knelt in front of Elena. "You are the bravest person I've ever met. Your mother would be so proud, but please." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "I need to see her. Need her to know I didn't abandon her. Let me be brave like Mama was." Rafael and Sarah exchanged a long look. In it was everything they couldn't say aloud. The attraction growing between them, the shared pain, the desperate hope that maybe Lucia had been right about both of them. "We protect her," Sarah said quietly. "Every second. She stays close to Rafael, and the moment we have Mia, they both evacuate." Rafael wanted to argue, wanted to refuse. But he saw Lucia in Elena's eyes, that same stubborn courage, that same refusal to abandon the people she loved. "Okay," he said finally, "but you follow my every instruction. No heroics, no risks." Elena nodded solemnly. "I promise." This is what courage looks like, friends. A child willing to face her fears to save her sister. If this story is hitting you in the feels, let me know in the comments. And make sure you're subscribed. Part 8 is the climax you've been waiting for. The plan came together in 90 minutes. Sarah would lead a team through the tunnel system. Dominic, Natasha, and 4 of their most trusted operatives. They'd breach from below, locate Maya, and extract her while Michael was distracted. Rafael would walk through the front entrance with Elena, playing the part of the defeated man seeking redemption. He'd wear a wire so Sarah's team could track his movements and adjust accordingly. "Timing is everything," Natasha emphasized. "Rafael, you need to keep Michael talking for at least 15 minutes. That's how long we need to reach the observation room." "I can do 15 minutes." Rafael checked his concealed weapons, small, easily missed in a pat-down. "Michael wants to monologue. I'll let him." James handed him a syringe. "Fast-acting sedative. If you get a clear shot at Michael, use it. Don't try to be a hero." "Heroism is Sarah's department." Rafael glanced at her. "I'm just the monster trying to prove he's human." Sarah crossed to him. They were alone for a moment, the others busy with final preparations. She reached up, adjusting his jacket collar, an excuse to be close. "Rafael," she said softly, "when this is over—" "I know." He covered her hand with his. "Me too." They didn't need to define it. The connection between them was undeniable now, forged in shared trauma, tempered by mutual respect, sparked by an attraction neither had expected two broken people finding wholeness in each other. "Don't die," Sarah whispered. "Don't let me down," Rafael replied. She smiled, small but genuine. "Never." They suited up. Armed up. Elena stayed close to Rafael, her small hand occasionally reaching for his, seeking reassurance he was glad to give. As they loaded into separate vehicles, Rafael and Elena in one SUV, Sarah's team in another, Dominic pulled Rafael aside one last time. "Boss, if this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, I want you to know. You're not the monster you think you are. Haven't been for a long time." Dominic's scarred face was sincere. "Lucia saw it. Sarah sees it. Even that little girl sees it. Maybe it's time you saw it too." Rafael clasped his oldest friend's shoulder. "After tonight, maybe I will." The drive to the psychiatric hospital took 40 minutes. Rafael spent it preparing Elena, going over the plan, making sure she understood the signals. But mostly, he just held her hand. "Thank you," Elena said quietly as they approached the gates. "For what?" "For being who my mama believed you were." The words settled into Rafael's chest, warm and painful and right. The hospital loomed ahead, dark windows, chain-link fences, the architecture of nightmares. Somewhere inside, Mia waited, and Michael prepared his final act. Rafael's phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. "In position. Tunnel entrance breached." "We're going dark. 15 minutes," Rafael typed back. "See you on the other side." He pocketed the phone and looked at Elena. "Ready?" The little girl straightened her shoulders. "Ready." They walked toward the entrance together. The monster and the child, the past and the future, Rafael's last chance at redemption, and Elena's desperate hope for family. The doors opened, and the final act began. The hospital's main hall smelled like decay and antiseptic, a combination that turned Rafael's stomach. Their footsteps echoed against cracked linoleum as armed men materialized from the shadows, weapons trained on Rafael and Elena. "Empty your pockets, slowly." The lead guard was professional, thorough. He found Rafael's concealed weapons immediately. "Boss wants you unarmed." Rafael complied, letting them take everything except the wire, which they missed, hidden in his belt buckle, and the sedative syringe tucked into his sock. Elena pressed closer to his side, trembling but silent. They were escorted up 3 flights of stairs to what had once been the psychiatric observation wing. The hallway stretched before them, doors hanging open like screaming mouths. At the end, light spilled from a single room. Michael's stage. Rafael squeezed Elena's hand once, checked his watch. 12 minutes. Sarah needed 12 more minutes. They stepped into the observation room. It was exactly as Rafael had imagined. Circular, with one-way glass surrounding the central space. Medical equipment lined the walls. And in the center, Mia lay on a gurney, still unconscious but breathing steadily. Beside her stood Michael Connor. He was handsome in a clinical way, sharp features, kind eyes that had probably comforted hundreds of patients before revealing the monster beneath. He wore a doctor's coat, the irony not lost on Rafael. "Elena!" Michael's smile was warm, grotesque in its genuineness. "I'm so glad you came. Your sister has been asking for you." "She's unconscious, you psychopath," Rafael said coldly. "Sedated. Temporarily." Michael circled the gurney like a shark. "I wanted her calm for our family reunion. You see, this isn't about hurting children, Rafael. It's about teaching lessons, about consequences." Elena tried to run to her sister, but guards blocked her path. Rafael held her back, feeling her small body shake with rage and fear. 11 minutes, Rafael thought. Keep him talking. "You wanted me here," Rafael said. "I'm here. Let the girls go." "Oh, but that would ruin the educational value," Michael gestured expansively. "Do you know what my sister and I spent years studying? Trauma attachment theory, the psychology of loss. And the most fascinating finding was this: people don't truly change through reward. They change through pain." "Is that what happened to you?" Rafael asked. "Lucia rejected you, so you decided to become a monster?" Michael's smile faltered. "Lucia didn't reject me. She was confused, traumatized by you, by her circumstances. She needed guidance, support, someone to show her real love. She needed you to respect her choices." Rafael's voice cut like a blade. "But you couldn't do that, because you never loved Lucia. You loved the idea of saving her, of being her hero." "You know nothing about what I felt." "I know everything about it." Rafael stepped forward, drawing Michael's focus. "Because I made the same mistake. I loved Lucia, but I thought love meant controlling her destiny, protecting her by pushing her away, making her decisions for her." His voice softened. "The difference is I learned. I let her go. I respected her choice to live without me." Michael's face twisted with fury. "You abandoned her, left her pregnant and alone." "I gave her freedom, something you never could." Behind the one-way glass, Rafael caught a flicker of movement. Sarah's team, in position below. 9 minutes. Elena suddenly pulled free from Rafael, running toward her sister. The guards grabbed her, but Michael raised a hand. "Let her go!" Elena reached the gurney, taking Mia's small hand. Tears streamed down her face. "I'm here, Mia. I didn't leave you. I promise I didn't leave you." Michael watched with clinical fascination. "Beautiful, isn't it? The bond between siblings. Sarah and I had that once. Before she chose her career over family, before she decided her professional ethics mattered more than blood. My brother died 8 years ago. came a voice from the doorway. Everyone turned. Sarah stood there, covered in dust from the tunnels, weapon trained on Michael. Behind her, Natasha and Dominic fanned out, covering the guards. Michael's face showed the first crack of genuine surprise. Sarah, you're supposed to be. In the tunnels you didn't know I knew about? Sarah moved closer, never lowering her weapon. The ones I used when consulting here years ago? The ones you forgot to account for in your master plan? You couldn't have breached them in time. We did. Your narcissism is showing, Michael. You assumed you were the smartest person in every room, but you forgot. I'm a psychologist too, and I know your patterns better than anyone. Michael's composure was cracking. This doesn't change anything. The guards are surrounded, Dominic confirmed. We have snipers in every window. Your men are outgunned. It's over. But Rafael saw what the others didn't. Michael's hand moving toward a device in his pocket. A trigger. He's wired the room, Rafael said. Everyone out. Now. Sarah's eyes widened. Rafael! Get the girls out! Rafael launched himself at Michael as the psychiatrist pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. Michael pressed it again. Again. His face contorting with confusion and rage. Looking for this? James stepped into the room, holding a small battery pack. While you were monologuing, I was disabling your explosives professional tip. Always encrypt your detonation systems. We've been inside your network for the last hour. Did you see that coming? The hero team outsmarting the villain at his own game. Drop a comment about your favorite moment so far, and make sure you're subscribed for the beautiful conclusion in Part 9. Michael staggered backward, his perfect plan disintegrating. No, this isn't. I had everything calculated. You calculated revenge, Rafael said quietly, advancing on him. But you forgot about love. Real love. The kind that trusts people to be better than their worst moments. That's what Lucia taught me. That's what she tried to teach you. She should have loved me, Michael screamed, all pretense of sanity gone. I was perfect for her. I understood her trauma. I could have saved her. She didn't need saving. Sarah's voice was broken but firm. She needed respect, and you couldn't give her that. You couldn't give me that. You couldn't see anyone except as pieces in your narrative. Michael lunged for a scalpel on the medical tray. Rafael was faster, catching his wrist and twisting. The blade clattered to the floor. They struggled. Brief. Brutal. Then Rafael drove his fist into Michael's solar plexus, dropping him to his knees. Rafael pulled the syringe from his sock, jamming it into Michael's neck. The psychiatrist's eyes went wide, then rolled back as the sedative took effect. Sweet dreams, Rafael said. Michael crumpled to the floor, unconscious before he hit the ground. For a moment, no one moved. Then Elena's voice broke the silence. Mia, please, wake up. Natasha rushed to the gurney, checking the IV line. Just sedatives. She'll be fine. She'll wake up in a few hours. Elena collapsed against her sister, sobbing with relief. I'm here. I didn't leave you. Sarah moved to Rafael's side. Their eyes met. Exhaustion, relief, triumph, and something deeper passing between them. You did it, she whispered. We did it. Rafael reached for her hand. Together. She laced her fingers through his, and for the first time in 20 years, Rafael felt something he'd thought was lost forever. Hope. Sirens wailed in the distance, Dominic's police contacts arriving on cue. They'd take Michael into custody, and this time there would be no escape, no resurrection. The Ouroboros was finished. Rafael knelt beside the gurney, looking at the two sisters, Elena exhausted but fierce, Mia beginning to stir from sedation. Lucia's daughters, the family she'd protected with her last breath. Your mother would be proud, Rafael said softly. Elena looked up at him, tears streaking her dirt-stained face. Are you going to leave us now? Like before? The question hit Rafael in the chest. Sarah's hand tightened around his. Rafael looked at Sarah, then back at Elena. No, not this time. If you'll have me, if you'll let me, I want to be here. For both of you. The way I should have been all along. Promise? Elena whispered. I promise. Mia's eyes fluttered open. She looked around, confused and scared, then saw her sister. Elena? I'm here, baby. I'm here! The sisters embraced, and Rafael had to look away, the emotion too raw, too pure. Sarah leaned into him, her head on his shoulder. What do we do now? Now? Rafael looked at the family they'd saved, the team that had trusted him. The woman who'd shown him redemption was possible. Now we do what Lucia always believed we could do. We choose to be better than our past. Outside, dawn was breaking over the city. The darkness was finally lifting. And for the first time in his life, Rafael Romano believed he deserved to see the light. 3 months later, Rafael stood in the kitchen of a house he'd never imagined owning. Suburban, safe, with a backyard where children could play without fear. You're burning the pancakes again, Sarah said, sliding past him to rescue breakfast. Her hand lingered on his arm, a casual touch that still sent electricity through him. I'm a crime boss, not a chef, Rafael protested, but he was smiling. Actually smiling. Former crime boss, Sarah corrected, flipping perfect golden pancakes. Current guardian and surprisingly decent human being. Surprisingly? She kissed his cheek. Don't push your luck, Romano. Footsteps thundered down the stairs, Elena and Mia, arguing about something trivial and wonderful. Mia had nightmares still, waking sometimes screaming for her mother, but they were getting less frequent. Therapy was helping, time was helping, love was helping most of all. Rafael! Mia launched herself at him, and he caught her easily, this tiny 6-year-old who'd suffered so much but still smiled like sunshine. Elena says I can't wear my princess dress to school, but you said I could be brave like a princess, so… Nice try, Squirt. Rafael set her down gently. But Sarah and I talked about this. School days are for school clothes. Princess dresses are for weekends. But… no buts. Elena's right. Mia pouted but accepted it, running to help Sarah set the table. Elena appeared in the doorway, watching Rafael with those eyes so much like Lucia's. You okay? Rafael asked quietly. Yeah. Elena moved closer. I was just thinking about Mama. How she'd like this. Us being together? You and Sarah figuring things out? Rafael's chest tightened. They'd visited Lucia's grave last week, all 4 of them. Elena had placed flowers while Mia sang a song their mother used to hum. Rafael had stood apart, letting the girls have their moment until Elena had grabbed his hand and pulled him closer. She forgave you, you know, Elena said now. Mama, she told me once that you did what you thought was right, even though it hurt. She said that's what real love sometimes looks like, letting go even when you want to hold on. Your mother was wiser than I ever was. Yeah, Elena smiled. But she was right about you too. You're not scary. Not really. You're just someone who forgot how to be soft until we reminded you. Before Rafael could respond, his phone buzzed. Dominic? Boss, sorry, Rafael. We have confirmation. Michael Connor was officially sentenced this morning. Life without parole in a maximum security psychiatric facility. The judge threw out every appeal. He's never getting out. Relief washed through Rafael. Good. That's good. Also, the Corleone family reached out. Don Salvatore wants to meet. Says he respects what you did. Choosing family over empire. He's willing to negotiate a truce. Rafael glanced at Sarah, at the girls setting the table, at this life he'd built from the ashes of his old one. Tell him I appreciate it, but I'm retired. Dominic, the operation is yours now. Run it however you see fit. I trust you. Silence on the other end. Then, You're serious. You're really done. I'm really done. I have more important things to protect now. After they hung up, Sarah wrapped her arms around Rafael from behind, resting her chin on his shoulder. Proud of you. Don't be. I'm just doing what I should have done years ago. That's why I'm proud. She turned him to face her. You're not the man Lucia fell in love with 12 years ago. You're not even the man I met 3 months ago. You're better. You chose this, chose us over everything else. Easiest choice I ever made. They kissed, soft and sweet, until Mia made exaggerated gagging sounds and Elena threw a dish towel at them. Breakfast was chaotic and perfect. Mia spilled juice. Elena complained about math homework. Sarah stole bacon from Rafael's plate. They argued about who would walk the dog they'd adopted last week, a scruffy rescue that Mia had named Princess Destroyer. It was normal, mundane, beautiful. Everything Rafael never knew he wanted. Family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about choice, about choosing to protect, to heal, to love. If this story touched your heart, drop a comment about what family means to you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? More incredible stories are coming your way. After breakfast, Sarah left for work. She'd opened a trauma center for children, using some of the money Michael had stolen to actually help the people he'd claimed to care about. The girls went to school, Elena watching over Mia like a fierce guardian angel. And Rafael? He stayed home. Did dishes. Walked the dog. Prepared for a life he never imagined would be his. Later that afternoon, he found himself in the garage, looking at a box he'd been avoiding. Lucia's things, the items Elena had brought from their apartment, things too precious to throw away but too painful to examine. Rafael opened it slowly. Photos of the girls as babies, Lucia's journal, a pressed flower from the park where they used to walk. And at the bottom, a letter. His name was written on the envelope in Lucia's handwriting. Rafael's hands shook as he opened it. Dear Rafael, if you're reading this, it means the impossible happened. You met our daughters. And if I know Elena, it means something went wrong, and she found you because I told her you'd protect them if I couldn't. I'm not angry with you anymore. Haven't been for years. You did what you thought was right. And maybe you were. Maybe Elena and Mia got to have a childhood because you left. Maybe that was your gift to us. But I need you to know something. I never stopped believing in you. The man who bled in that alley, who let me stitch his wounds while he told terrible jokes to hide his fear, that man was good, is good. Whatever you've become since, whatever choices you've made, that goodness is still there. Our daughters are brave and beautiful, and so much stronger than they know. They have my stubbornness and your protective instinct. Take care of them, not because you owe me, but because they deserve someone who sees them the way you once saw me, as people worth saving, even when they don't ask for it. And Rafael, let yourself be saved too. You spent so long being the monster that you forgot you were human first. Remember, live. Choose light over darkness, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. The girls and I love you. We always will. Yours, Lucia. Rafael read it 3 times, tears streaming down his face. The first tears he'd shed since the night Lucia had told him she was pregnant, and he'd realized how badly he'd destroy her life. But she hadn't been destroyed. She'd built something beautiful, raised 2 incredible daughters. And somehow, impossibly, she'd still had faith in him. Rafael? He looked up. Sarah stood in the doorway, home early from work. I'm okay, he said, though his voice cracked. Just, Lucia left me a letter. Sarah crossed to him, reading over his shoulder. When she finished, she was crying too. She was right about you, Sarah whispered. She saw what I see, what the girls see. You're not a monster, Rafael. You never were. I've done terrible things. And now you're doing beautiful things. That's called growth. That's called redemption. Sarah took his face in her hands. I love you. Not despite your past, but because you chose to be better than it. Because you chose us. I love you too. The words came easily now, naturally. I love all of you. This family we've built from broken pieces. They held each other in the garage, surrounded by Lucia's memories, and Rafael felt the last piece of his armor fall away. He was no longer Rafael Romano, feared crime boss. He was just Rafael, father figure, partner, protector, human. 6 months after that, Rafael stood in a courtroom as a judge finalized the adoption papers. Elena and Mia Morris would legally become Elena and Mia Romano Connor, taking both his and Sarah's names. A family, official and real and forever. Mia held his hand on one side, Elena on the other. Sarah stood beside them, her ring finger now bearing the diamond Rafael had given her last month when he'd proposed in the backyard while the girls made s'mores. "Congratulations," the judge said, smiling. "Take care of each other." "We will," they said in unison. Outside the courthouse, James waited with Dominic and Natasha, now running the legitimate security firm Rafael had founded with his former criminal assets. They'd brought champagne, for the adults, and sparkling cider, for the girls. "To family," Dominic toasted. "To second chances," James added. "To Lucia," Sarah said quietly, "who believed in redemption long before the rest of us." "To Lucia," they echoed. Rafael looked at his family. Chosen, fought for, earned through pain and blood, and finally, love. He thought about the man he'd been, bleeding in an alley, too broken to believe in anything good. And he thought about the man he'd become, standing in sunshine with people he'd die to protect and live to cherish. Lucia had been right. Goodness wasn't something you lost. It was something you chose, every day, every moment, every small decision to be better than your worst impulses. Rafael chose it now, would choose it tomorrow, would keep choosing it for the rest of his life. Because that's what love demanded, what family deserved, what he finally believed he was worth. "Come on," Mia tugged his hand. "You promised we could get ice cream." "I did, didn't I?" Rafael scooped her up, making her squeal with delight. Elena walked beside Sarah, already mimicking her stepmother's confident stride. "When I grow up, I want to help people like you do." "You already do, sweetheart," Sarah said. "Every single day." They walked toward the future together, this strange, beautiful family built from tragedy and choice and stubborn hope. Behind them, the past finally released its grip. Ahead, the light grew brighter, and Rafael Romano, former monster, current father, forever redeemed, finally understood what Lucia had tried to teach him all those years ago. Everyone deserves a second chance, even him, especially him. If you loved this tale, please drop a comment sharing your favorite moment. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe for more emotionally powerful stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.